we saw him in the team league. He came out and he did work. I can't actually remember. Actually, I think it was against Cascade. Alive came out in the ace match and he beat Cass. He played some mech in TVP or TVT, sorry, and yeah, he played pretty well. I think he may have all killed one match as well, but I can't quite remember the details if I'm going to be honest with you. But hey, this guy, he's been playing pretty well from what we've seen of him. So we'll see how this is going to go, guys, as we load into Nimbus for Vega Squadron versus StarTale, and we're starting off in the lower right hand corner with our red town player from StarTale. It's none other than Alive. StarTale finishing in 3rd place in Group B behind Cascade and Red Bloods. Despite taking the victory over both Red Bloods and Cascade, they were behind after they actually had a couple of forfeit losses because they didn't turn up to matches, and they lost one match against Gravity 4-3 as well, where they actually had to forfeit Game 7. So they've never completely lost a match, but they've lost because they've had to forfeit, whether it be the entire match or just a single map in a match. So, you know, it's not been plain sailing either. Cascade pushed them into an ace match also, so, you know, StarTale have had their moments of vulnerability, and honestly, it was actually very close. It came down to the last 2 matches played in Group B to see if StarTale were even going to make it into the playoffs. They had to win against AT Gaming, and if they didn't, then they actually wouldn't have made it. So, well, they just about made it here. Again, they will be the favourites coming into this, but you've got to take into consideration the lag playing on the EU server. And, well, we'll see what happens. In the upper left-hand corner from Vega Squadron, we have our Green Pros player. First player out from them is Freya. Let's see how Freya's going to do. He recently had a decent performance in DreamHack Moscow. He finished round of 16, I believe. I can't remember who he lost to. I think he might have lost to Happy in the round of 16. Happy then moved on into the round of 8 before losing to Jachi, who then went into the finals to play MMA. So, Freya here, a strong starter from Vega Squadron. We'll see how he is going to do. Yeah, I mean, Vega Squadron, they had a really great season last season. They finished in 2nd place. The season before that, in Season 1, they finished in the round of 16. So they came into this season being the team we expected to make the playoffs, no problem. It wasn't quite as plain sailing as we thought it might be, but they made it here nonetheless. They actually finished 2nd place in their group. It was just a bad few weeks at the start for them. And, you know, actually fit similar group stage scores for both these guys. 8-3 and plus 12, plus 13 to kind of get them through to the playoffs. So, pretty standard stuff. These teams evenly matched in statistics, but again, you've got to remember them matches which StarTale lost were mostly forfeits. So, guys, how is everyone doing? Got SCV starting to scout out, trying to see what is up. Live just with a Reaper opening here. First Reaper going to start coming across the map, and we have a reactor on the way down. Pulling out of gas, he's going to drop his command center nice and quickly. Going to be able to follow this up with a couple of barracks as well. So Live just going into a very standard bio build here in this TVP. It's going to be Freya, who I'm kind of most interested to see what he's going to get up to. He's already on double gas here, albeit this second gas only just came up very recently. So Freya here is minus double gas, and this is something Alive is going to see as he asks for a pause. Let me just check that nothing's wrong on Skype. No, it's not. And yeah, so why is StarTale playing on EU? Well, the thing is, what happened was I made the rules before the league started, and because I made the rules before the league started, you can imagine I didn't expect StarTale to sign up for the league. So we made the rules because it's an EU tournament. I wasn't expecting to get any big teams of Koreans. The only team that was maybe going to be an issue was my Insanity in my mind. But again, they have a lot of players in the EU, and a lot of their Koreans were in the EU. So we made the rules to play on EU server only, and StarTale signed up, knowing that, and that is why. It will be changing for next season though, because we have big plans, which will be announced in a week or two. Reaper comes in here, and there's not much to see because the SCV's kind of already seen it. Maybe could see this second gas. He comes in here and just confirms this, gets a couple of shots off on some probes right now, chased away by the mothership core though. And again, what is Freya going to do with all of this gas early on? There it is. It's going to be a Stargate coming in. So an Oracle opening from Freya at the start of this game here on Nimbus as Live just starting to make some Marines here. He should have plenty of Marines before the Oracle comes out. Now the question is, how well does he split them up? Does he have them in position to defend where he needs them to defend? So, Live going to finish up this command center in the near future, and some SCVs going to start mining here on this natural expansion already. Oh, just a little bit too early for a couple of them. And Live starts up that orbital command now. Reaper's still sitting outside the main base here, and just getting ready to maybe pop back in, see what's up again in a few moments' time. Mothership Cornstalker, both patrol and trying to be able to deny this scout, as another stalker coming out should be able to help that as well. Of course, if the Rubik can find that just the right opening, he could maybe get in there and get all the information he needs. Oracle on the way out here, being chrono boosted as we would expect, and Freya is going to be looking to try and pick off a few workers, but look at this, already alive, getting some Marines in position in the natural, and it's going to be more than enough to defend now. 6 Marines, and with more Marines being produced in the main, I highly doubt this Oracle is going to get too much done, but that doesn't mean it's been a complete waste. The Oracle in general is just a unit which is so great at being out on the map. It gives you a lot of map vision. It actually means you don't really need as many observers as early on, and so you can go a lot more into, you can use that robot facility building time to build Immortals or to build Colossi, as long as this Oracle is alive. It's built and designed, it's the idea of this is to just keep the Terran player back a little bit, keep him a little bit worried, fly around the main base, pick off an SCV, building some units, building a factory, little things like this. Where aren't the Marines? Come into this side, pick off an SCV or 2, get out. It's all about keeping it alive though, and that's going to be the major thing we have to look for here as he first comes in with this Oracle, and he will already find a way to get a couple of kills on this natural, and he should get 2, and he could maybe get 3 if he wanted to dive back in, but it's going to be kind of close with the Marines coming around left and right, and for now just dancing around. He's actually up on 5 worker kills already, so this is actually already better than I thought he would get out of this. And all due to Alive being a little bit slow to kind of pick up on the fact that that Oracle was flying into his main base, or into his natural I should say. The Robo comes down here, just a single Oracle, no further production out of that Stargate for now. And maybe he goes into some Phoenix later on to go into a Phoenix Colossi composition. Stim pack on the way here for our Terran player, drops the starport and the reactor as well. So Alive just continuing on as we would expect. And yeah, I mean, just very standard stuff. There's not really anything else we'd really expect from him right now. He's getting his bio upgrades. There's +1 coming in as well. He's going to be looking to move out with his first 2 medevacs in the fairly near future. We're just a couple of minutes away from that. We actually have already a few Marines coming to the middle of the map just to take some tower control. And this Oracle, going to find a couple of Marines to pick off here, maybe. Taking some damage though. And we'll just have to get out of there. Not too successful. Observer on the way across the map. These Marines quite content with having seen there's nothing on the watchtower. Will now back off and might be able to shut down this Oracle. And with the stim, it will go down. And immediately, that's the problem. We were saying before, this Oracle is designed to keep the Terran player back. It's designed to, if he moves out, be able to come in here, pick up a couple kills. And Alive, he's going to get away with not even investing into missile turrets. He's not had to invest missile turrets into this. So the Oracle, yes, he got a few kills here, but really not too much. I mean, 6 SCVs and a Marine. That Reaper died off earlier as well. Alive just going to move back with his army now, just sending out the first few units ahead of this to make sure he's not going to run into any trouble, make sure he's not going to get counterattacked behind his back. And a couple of Stalkers now. Moving over to the left-hand side, we do just have Robobay and Colossi on the way up for Freya back at home. 3 more gateways being added on here, so he's going up to, well, a lot of gateways right now. This is, 7 gates in total? Off of no forges, so right now it is definitely possible that he is just thinking of going for a 2-base timing attack. He's gonna have to really execute this well if he wants to make it work against Alive. Already we have the probe coming around the right hand side of the map, but he really does need a few more units here before he moves out, especially into the open. With this army on the map, the last thing you want to do is run into a concave of Terran units stimming forward and just picking off the Colossi, because once them Colossi are dead, what are you gonna do if you attack across the map? Probably not too much, honestly, because if you don't have any units left, especially them Colossi, you're just going to run into a couple of bunkers, and boom, you're in trouble. So, Alive just moving around a little bit, keeping his map control, and he will now see this army coming forward, and he should be able to stim forward here if he wants to. He will actually just choose to stim and retreat, and some nice force fields here for Freya. Does pick up a few units to begin with, and both these Terran units are going to come up the left-hand side now of the map. Alive is actually just going to go for a counterattack, and he's not really doing anything at all back at home. He's got his 3rd base building. He's not really preparing for this attack, though. He's not doing anything about it. He's making some Vikings, but that's about it. As now he cancels and he sees this army's going to be over here. We're going to go into what is going to be a bit of a base trade, guys. As these Terran units are stimming across, they're going to look to try and shut down the production of his opponent as fast as possible. The sooner that gets shut down, the sooner there are no more reinforcements for our Terran player who is currently just trying to rally whatever he can in towards his natural. I assume he might try and just pick up and get out. He's lost his medevac. I mean, it's a couple of Vikings here, so he is starting to do some damage for an overcharge being used. A couple of mines actually in the mineral line as well, but there's actually not too much army left here for Alive at all, and Freya is doing some pretty major damage back in the Terran base. Of course, maybe he can force a maybe possible for him to but he's actually losing everything. He's not going to be able to do anything at all here. Freya's actually maybe going to win this because Alive's kind of run out of units already. this is a little bit interesting right now then. So Freya is going to kill off everything in his opponent's main base. The command center goes down. Alive is not even really able to kind of shut down the mining in this Photon Overcharge, protecting that base here. I don't know what happened. I think a Colossus was out or something. It's just kind of wiped out the entire of this army. That's pulling away now. Going to try and hold on. I guess he could float units, and if he could, but only if he can actually kill off the buildings of his opponent, and that's not going to happen. So I don't really think Alive has a way in this game, and he's going to start losing some units now. And well, Medevac going to boost away. A couple of Marauders still here, trying to just trade with whoever they can, but Immortal's about to pop out, and that's going to be more than enough to deal with a couple of Marauders. And Alive realizing it's going to have to back off, and he will just type out GG. Game number 1 goes in favor of Vega Squadron, and Freya brings us this first game. And well, was that what we were expecting? Maybe not. I thought Alive was a very strong starter player out of StarTale, and yet he loses here in game number 1. Just didn't really quite respond, right? He didn't build any bunkers. He decided to keep moving across the map, but he just didn't quite, you know, he obviously decided he wanted a base trade, but he just didn't do anything at home to indicate he was ready for that army coming across. I mean, he moved into the main base, and we didn't quite see what happened, but he just lost the whole army. I assume just a warp in, and Colossus popping out at the same time. Army disappears, and then what are you going to do? How are you going to base trade if you can't kill off his buildings? That's kind of how it is. So Vega Squadron take game number 1 here. Alive drops out, and StarTale find themselves behind early on in this series. We'll have to see who they're going to choose to send out as player number 2 in this best of 7 all kill. Guys, we're going to go into a quick commercial break, but when we come back, it will be the second game of this best of 7 all kill to determine who makes it through to the semi-finals of the SC2 Improved Team League Season 3. Don't go far. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit the follow button on the channel to see when we go live again with more of our events and tournaments and SC2ITL matches. Shout out to a few of you guys already hitting that follow: KS, FPL, Mothership Rush, and Croncao. Thank you very much for them follows. Guys, we'll be back in a few moments. Game number 2 is on the way. Always a little bit awkward when the song ends just as we start to make the lobby, so sorry about that, guys. But welcome back to StarTale versus Vega Squadron. Again, our invites going here for game number 2 is going to be Freya versus Curious. Curious, the next player out here from StarTale. So I'm just going to get our invite casters into the game as well, and we should be all good to go. So, who are we missing? Who are we missing? This one, I believe. Bum 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 bum. So we should be all good to go in a moment. Just trying to get our other Italian co-caster in here so that we're actually good to go. Oh, is he here? Okay, so we should be good to go. Sorry about that. And we are going to start up. So game number 2 is going to be merry-go-round as we head into a ZVP. Not so surprisingly, Curious picked this map. The Zerg player here will definitely be favoured on merry-go-round against a Protoss, that wide open third base. Very difficult to kind of hold as the Protoss player. So yeah. But yeah, Food Lord asking again, what happened at the Protoss base? So we were kind of looking at the Protoss army, and I just assumed, you know, there's not going to be anything in the Protoss base, right? He's just going to kind of walk through there. But yeah, as Barmy's saying, like, there was a Colossus there. We actually went back just as the Colossus died, but I imagine the Colossus did a lot of damage while he was kind of just attack moving on a Nexus. So he just took a lot of free damage and lost his army, because that's the only way I can imagine it. Because there's no way he had a big enough army to genuinely contest that. So it must have been a bit of a, you know, just taking free damage from Alive, a bit of a mistake there, and that probably did end up costing him the game. So yeah, we're gonna go into game number 2, and just gonna jump on into this. So Yeah, let's do this. Balmy, what I will do is I'll read out your donation after the after this next game when we have time to go through it properly, so that I don't just rush it off. So, thank you for the donation, and I'll read it out properly after this quick. Hopefully not after a quick game. Hopefully just after this game. So, guys, let's go in game and get ready and start with game number 2. In the upper left-hand corner, the next player out from StarTale. He is going to be the Zerg player. He's played quite a lot for them in the SC2ITL as well. It's Curious. Definitely hasn't been unbeatable, though, by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, I mean, no way has he been unbeatable. What can I say? So, he's lost to a few guys. I mean, remember, he lost to Hanfi when they played against Red Bloods. He lost against Gravity as well in that match that they lost. So, you know, he's not unbeatable, but of course it's Curious. I mean, he's a pretty strong player. In the lower right-hand side, or the lower side of the map, the 6 o'clock position, it's going to be a Green Protoss player. It's going to be Freya from Vega Squadron. So, it looks as though we're going to actually have a bit of a slow start to this game, so I guess we can just go through our donation now. So, thank you very much, Barmy, who says, the passion is real, but I don't want to give Twitch more money. Thank you very much, man. You know, donations do help more than subscriptions anyway, because generally, you know, obviously Twitch don't take a cut of it, so thank you very much. It's much appreciated. Shoutouts. I'll update the thing that spins around between games during the next break as well. So thank you again for that. Also shout out to Woltan123 who hit that follow button here today. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. So we have a probe coming into the main base here as Freya just getting his initial scout off. It's going to be a hatchery first on the low ground for Curious. Not too much of a surprise there. There is a forge built though by Freya, and now the spawning pool starts to come down. This first, is he going to get the full wall off? Oh, he is as well. Wow, that probe just sneaking in, and Curious, he had a drone down here. This shouldn't have really been allowed to happen, but now we're actually going to see a cannon rush coming up, and oh no, he's probably going to have to cancel his hatchery. And, well, a few more drones actually being pulled here to try and help out. This, I mean, it's just kind of too hard to break into this pylon, though. A couple more, 2 cannons are being built right now. Another couple of drones coming down to the low ground, so Curious is really committed to trying to break out of this, but now he realizes this isn't going to happen. And, another cancel coming down there. Yeah, and maybe if he'd actually gone straight away onto this pylon with the first 2 drones, wow, he even sticks the probe out, amazing. Even if he'd gone onto this pylon with the first 2 drones, he would have actually been able to kill it and get in here, but I still don't know if he would have been able to actually kind of stop the cannons from going up, as cannons will now start raining fire upon this natural hatchery. So, well, drone going to try and come over to the third base to make it instead. It's actually allowed to finish here, which is interesting. We're seeing 8 Zerglings in production. A cannon's on the way up back at home, but without a wall, 8 Zerglings could definitely run past. Drone is going to chase down this probe right now, and these Lings are definitely just going to head straight across the map here. It's actually only going to be 6 of them, as the 2 on the natural expansion did get cancelled. And, well, this probe does see another drone leaving, so you should be kind of, unless this drone's either, you know, it's either to make another base, which it looks as though it is, or it was to check for cannons around here. These lava are maybe just one of them going to die. Yes, it will, as these Zerglings are about to get in here. So sorry, there is actually 8 Lings here in the end then, and 7 of them get through, so this is going to be a little bit troublesome for Freya, because he's got nothing. He doesn't have a gateway on the way yet, so Curious is going to be able to do quite a lot of damage on this counterattack. He just has to make sure to control well, not get surrounded or anything. And, I mean, if he really wanted to, he could just work his way against this Nexus for a while. He's got a long time before any kind of defense comes up here in this main base. And, whoa, nearly getting caught, but he takes a good fight again here. Freya trading here and just pulling back with a couple of probes. 2 workers go down. Oh, he's nearly going to catch these Zerglings. Only 5 remain alive. He's actually going to turn around and fight once again here. Picks off another probe. That's 3 probes. Now there's a pylon's coming up here to try and cannon rush this next expansion of Curious. And, we'll see how successful that will be as these probes continue to chase these Zerglings. Zerglings will continue to pick up kills here, though. And 4 Zerglings still remain now at 6 workers killed. And Freya is actually starting to hurt a little bit from this, as I think Curious might be a little bit better off taking down another pylon there. Curious, he sees these cannons, but is he going to be able to do anything about them? Well, maybe with the Queen and some Zerglings, he actually probably will be able to do something about it just about in time. Now we're at 7 workers killed in this main base of the Protoss player. And 3 Zerglings still just being controlled here. There's another cannon being added on. 8 Zerglings, 1 Queen. I don't think it's actually really enough. As, We'll see where these Zerglings are going to go. Maybe if they shut down this probe, that would be the best thing for them, as he's just not going to get one more worker there. In total, 9 workers killed here by Curious, and that's put Freya down to 15 workers. As again, we've got more cannons just working away here, and well, I'm not too sure. The Queens are fighting one cannon, the cannon that's still building, while the Zerglings are fighting another, and there's, well, one cannon's going to get forced to cancel, and it looks as though he will keep this base alive, so wasted, you know, a wasted investment here by Freya. I mean, he kills off some Zerglings, yes, but how worthwhile is that? Because, you know, it stops him his opponent drone for a little while, but look how delayed his gateway is. I mean, the main issue with this is how late is Warp Gate going to be? It's going to be, what, 11 minutes-ish before he gets Warp Gate on the map? It's going to be, this is going to be really, really weird. So, Curious is going to send some drones over towards this new base, and of course he's got this base running over here as well. And, one thing he has to be careful of is if Freya decides to go for kind of a big all-in. And if he goes for a big gateway all-in, you know, these pylons here are going to be fantastic as reinforcement pylons because they're defended by cannons. There's so many of them. And of course, if you have the Protoss player continue to attack kind of up into the main or so, if things get a bit troublesome for him, fall back to 3 cannons and almost immediately you're not going to take any more damage from there on. You know, the Zerg player is just going to have to stop and wait for you to move forward again. So that's kind of the main danger, I would say, right now for Curious. But I mean, he is starting to really take this lead in this game. I mean, he's 49, 50 drones, 28 at probes. So, I mean, this worker lead is just going to continue rising here. Gets a couple of overlords now. And we'll see when he wants to add on a roach one, add on his, you know, go into some roaches. Because I imagine Roach Ling is going to be the safest way to play this. Although, just saying that, he puts down a lair straight away here. And we're talking about no Zergling speed just yet either. So, Curious yet to really continue investing in this, in the next part of this game. There's that roach one coming down and there's speed starting up. So, he is starting to get something with which he'll be able to kind of defend with, should anything kind of troublesome come his way. A single Zealot coming across the map here, trying to see what is up. As Zerglin actually manages to get in through the main base now. And, I mean, he just wants to see what's going on, but, I mean, the warp gate now has started, but again, it's going to be another, what, 2 minutes? So we really are talking about, I mean, with Chrono Boost, 11 minutes to have warp gate on the field, and I don't know what the next step is here, to be honest, for our Protoss player. He might even lose this probe. He's going to have to pull a probe to help defend that. The Zerglin will go down. Okay, he's going to keep running it around here. I mean, what is the next step for Freya? He has a Zealot walking in towards the main base now, but, I mean, Curious shouldn't have any issue at all dealing with this. This is more to scout than anything else than to do any real damage. The Zerglin finally goes down, killed off by this probe. There's now more gateways get added on. I mean, we've got a Forge spinning away. Spin +1 is halfway done. We've got Twilight Council being added on too, so it looks as though Freya just wants to kind of go in towards a third base. Third base +2, Blink. Unless he's just going to go for a Blink all in off 2 bases, but, I mean, what is going to work? I mean, Chiller's at the third base right now with his Mothership Core. Zergling's starting to come to the middle of the map. A lot more of them in production. And Roaches being made as well. Zergling speed about to finish. Burrow on the way also. +1. Roach speed. Everything's starting to come in here now for our Zerg player to start actually doing some damage. And remember, he's also still 19 workers up. And, this Stalker's going to get caught. And, I mean, every single unit that he loses is just going to hurt because he's on 6 army supply. I mean, Freya, he committed so much earlier in this game. His Roach is now going to take down this these cannons and get rid of these pylons, and that's actually going to cause Freya to have to rebuild pylons so he doesn't get supply blocked, which is going to be more resources he's going to spend building stuff that isn't units, basically. Chrono boosting right now, Warp Gate's still not done, as these Zealots are going to, Zerglings are going to maybe be able to break through. They're going to get through here a little bit, and now they're going to work their way onto this cannon, and, well, okay, he's going to decide this maybe isn't the best of ideas, as there's going to be a sentry available in a couple of moments. But I mean, Roach is coming across the map. A few Roaches just left behind to make sure he can deal with these pylons. And Freya is in a lot of trouble now. He's warping a sentry, but what is he going to actually hold on with? Cancels that gateway, which he's using to wall in, and a robot facility on the way, but it's going to be a long time before he gets an Immortal out here to help against these incoming Roaches. And this the Stalker dies straight away, and the Cybernex Core going to be targeted. The force field is not going to be enough to help. It's going to buy him some time, but not enough. And now the Roaches, the Zerglings, they have broken through, and they're going to be able to take down this cannon, take down the rest of these units. Probes are being pulled. More Roaches on the way in. And, well, I think this may very well just be the end of Freya. This Nexus is being targeted down. He's not going to have a natural expansion if you give the Curious a couple more moments on this. And, I mean, some Roaches already up in towards the main base. Some Zealots there. Going to try and help out. GG Cold, though, and StarTale able to even up this series now 1 game apiece, thanks to Curious's win here over Freya on merry-go-round. So StarTale fighting back strong. Curious takes this victory, and 1-1 now, as we're going to head into game number 3 once again after a quick commercial break. Thanks for tuning in, guys, to the SC2 Improved Team League. Again, shout out to Barmy, who has donated here today. Thank you very much for supporting the SC2ITL. I'll make sure to update that recent donators list while we go into this quick commercial break. So guys, don't go far, we'll be back here in a few moments time as game number 3 between Vega, Squadron and StarTale. Welcome back, guys, to SC2ITL Season 3 quarterfinals. How is everyone doing? Welcome back to Vega Squadron versus StarTale. Are you ready for game number 3? It's not been plain sailing for StarTale so far, but they have managed to bring it back a map as we're now going to head into a ZVP on Deadwing, as Coolty will be the next player out from Vega Squadron. So guys, how is everyone doing? How the shit did Vega even take a game of StarTale? Alive messed up a little bit, let's not lie to ourselves. He did indeed mess up just a little bit. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate. We're loading into our next game, guys. While that's happening, I'd like to just point out, if you guys are looking or interested in playing the SC2 Improved Weekly tonight, it is going to take place after, well, in about an hour's time. If you want to sign up, go on over to SC2, sorry, not SC2, I can't speak, Excello.net. If you click on SC2 Improved Weekly number 67, you'll be able to sign up here. Sign up, check-in starts in like 45 minutes or so. That's what we're going to be casting here on the stream after the SC2ITL match between StarTale and Vega Squadron. So guys, we're going to be straight into this next game right now. We have loaded up, and let's just go in and introduce our players. No reason not to. So, ladies, gents, boys, girls, let's do this. In the upper right hand corner, from StarTale, bring this series back to 1-1. It's Curious, our blue Zerg player. Interesting map pick from our pink Protoss player in the lower right hand side of the map from Vega Squadron, ladies and gentlemen. It is Coolty. Alright, so Coolty here from Vega Squadron has been a solid player for them. Did stop playing for a little while. I think at the start of the season he wasn't playing so much, but he came back, still a pretty good player. And let's see what he's going to pull out here against StarTale's Curious. His choice of map, Deadwing, a very large map. Would not be surprised at all if we maybe saw some kind of blink play from him. And, you know, the kind of classic on this map, you know, blink up to this high ground to deny the third, use this choke point to help yourself out a lot. So that'd be kind of my go-to build if I was a Protoss player against a Zerg on this map. But we'll see what exactly he wants to do. I mean, it's a great map for just taking 3 bases on and just playing at macro from there. And, yeah, I mean, we will see, as we do have this probe moving across. And we'll be getting a little bit of scouting information done here. A couple of drones on the way down to the low ground, and it's actually going to be a free hatch before pool. And, well, maybe not if this probe has anything to do about it. So, hops down the pylon, and this might very well force this spawning pool out of Curious here a little bit faster than he maybe would have liked. And he is going to drop this here. So, I think he was going to go for free hatch before pool because it didn't really make sense for him to have 2 drones already down on the low ground. It looks as, I mean, this is just completely a fake because there's a Nexus first coming up for his opponent, so I mean, Curious is going to be able to go straight in towards the third base as soon as he would like, and it's not going to be too much of an issue for him. So Curious shouldn't be too put off by this slight deviation from his planned build. Perhaps if he did want to go for 2 free hatch before pool, maybe he's just being mega safe by pulling a couple of drones down to the low ground. But either way, we do have that pool on the way up now. Probe going to move away, and he will want to try and stick around at this third base. If you can get any information about this, what time it's going up, you know, how quick, you know, is it going up at all? That would be really nice information for him to be able to get. So he's going to see this drone coming across. He will be able to turn around and might even drop a. Yeah, he might. Yeah, okay. So Curious actually decides to start up a couple of queens and Zerglings, a pair of Zerglings right now, and this drone's going to start working around this probe. Coolty doesn't want to lose this though, so he's actually going to start running away with it nice and quickly, and just wants to kind of keep it alive more than commit to blocking off this hatchery. So Curious is going to be able to drop this in a moment. And there we go, the third hatchery now on the wave. Cybernex on the wave for Coolty as his first start on the way out. As Overlord coming in towards the main base. Again, a little bit of scouting information going for himself here. But again, nothing really too major. And yeah, just a little bit of information. Sees it's the timing of the Cybernex core, I guess. If you could get out with this Overlord and keep it alive, that'd be kind of nice. But he's not going to bother, he's just going to let this die. And Sentry on the way out right now. First 2 Zerglings coming forward as well right now, and let's see what they can maybe get up to. A couple of Zerglings moving forward, and Zert starting to try and pick them off. but not quite able to. So they're going to get into the main base and get a little bit more scanning information. Not that he really needs anymore. This Overlord is still around in here, right? Okay, he's actually starting to get away with that. So he will keep the Overlord alive, which is nice. And back to home, Curious, just starting to take gas. 6-minute double gas, nothing too crazy about that. And yeah, gateway on the way down here. So Coolty. But I mean, both players just setting up in towards a macro game now. Nothing really too spectacular from either side. A couple of gateways coming in from Coolty. He's already taken his gas on natural, so he's going to be continuing to tech up here as well. And I wonder if he's going to decide that. I wonder if he's going to decide to just drop a third Nexus. We yet to see a Forge or anything though, so still we yet to see any kind of tech from him. It is going to be a Forge, so yeah, I think we're just going to see a third Nexus here out of Coolty, about the 8-minute mark or so. Get a cannon up there to defend while going into +1, then get that blink and +2. Very standard PvZ strategy, of course. I mean, it's pretty much the standard way to take free bases in PvZ nowadays, with the +2 and blink while making Colossi. So curious what's his response going to be. I mean, of course, he doesn't know exactly what's up just yet. He starts his Rotor and he starts his Lair as well. And this time around, he is actually just going to completely skip Zergling's speed. So no link speed on the way for Curious, although I guess he started about this time last time. So maybe with this next 100 gas, he'll start link speed. But it looks as though he's just interested in continuing to drone right now. And he's got an Evo Chamber on the way as well. So yet to see what exactly this is going to be. 4 more gateways being added on. Wow, okay. So Curious, he's not going to just be kind of la-di-da, just going to let himself take a third base. Or is he? Okay, maybe he is. I guess it's a bit late for... I mean, does it really okay, I'm kind of fooling myself. Like, does it really line up at all for gateway timing? No. Maybe a gateway timing off of the back of a third base, because it's going to be a little while before +1 kicks in. It doesn't make sense to attack before you have that upgrade you've invested into. So maybe he will go for a little bit of aggression from this third base and not make that many probes. In fact, he's not probing right now. He's just warping in sentries. So possibility for him to attack here very soon is there, and have a third base to just fall back on if it doesn't go his way. A few slow links in the middle of the map. Speed's about halfway done for them. More drones continuing in production. Overlords continue to come up as well. No supply blocks here for Mr. Curious as this first one continues up. Still no more probes being... Okay, one more probe being made, but I mean, he's really not being kind of focused on that at all. So, a couple more Zealots get added on, and we're going to see these units beginning to come across the map. Now, these Zerglings going to be spotted by the Mothership Core. And this army going to move over to the left a little bit to avoid that watchtower. But that's exactly where them Zerglings are going. And guess what they're going to see? Oh yes, it's them sentries, and they're going to get caught. But on the plus side, Curious sees exactly what's coming towards him. And immediately we see 14 Roaches spring up in the production tab. As 3 more Stalkers, 3 more Zealots start to be added on here. Zerglings, a few of them on the tower now. And then again, this is going to be very important. This is where it comes down to right now for Curious in this game. Can he make the defense or can he not? There's a few Roaches already here, but is there enough, and are they in time? A couple of Overlords might go down. That would be a supply block as drones are going to be pulled forward here, realizing they may have to come in and join the fight. A few Roaches, but is it really going to be enough? A lot of Zealots in the front doing some good damage as these drones are actually helping out a little bit as well, but 20 drones killed so far. More Roaches on the way though, so I think in the end, Curious will be able to just push this back, but he has taken a lot of damage in the meantime, but the work counts are equal, so again, if he can just hold on, he should be more or less okay here. There's no recall available for our Protoss player, so he cannot get out of here with his army apart from just force fielding and retreating. And Kyrie's is going to continue just building Roaches right now. A few more Lings on the way as well. No more Zealots to tank. What's this warping of? A few Stalkers, a few Zealots. They're not in this fight just yet, as more Roaches coming in, and it's these Roaches and the lack of force fields now which are going to be able to start making this difference. As Spinecrawler taking a bit of damage. Curious definitely on the ropes, but the sentries are starting to fall, and again now it's going to be Roaches against just pure Gateway, and this Gateway army doesn't have really too much to go on. This attack basically it works off of momentum, and has he gained enough of it? Well, I don't know if he has. Curious going to back off here. The Mothership Core so close to falling, and if that goes down, that'd be a nice snipe, and he gets that killed. And a Roach is getting transfused there as well. Some Roaches moving forward here. No sentries, one of them getting warped in. Again, this Protoss army cannot retreat, and Curious just continuing to make Roaches. This was scary for him for a little while, and the burrow as well. That's kind of a kick in the teeth right now, because guess what Coolty doesn't have? Well, you guessed it right. It is a robot facility or any form of detection. You can put a cannon down, but that's about it. Retreating back home now. He's starting to make some probes and get ready to set up onto this third base. But I mean, this will give, I think, Curious a pretty good spot to go from in this game. He's going to be able to re-drone here nice and swiftly. And again, he's built up a pretty nice advantage from this early defense. Because his opponent's tech's just so delayed. Yes, he lost a lot of drones, but his opponent's tech's delayed. The most important thing is Curious is still alive. You know, he's still held a kind of equal worker count, and coming forward right now, this is kind of going to be the scariest time in here for Coolty, because how is he going to defend from these initial roaches without any tech on the map? We're still yet to see him build a robo facility. You know, he's got to kill off a gateway to be able to get in here fast enough. This isn't good news. As a sentry gets in, he might be able to just about drop the force fields in time to block off this ramp, but guess what? Curious is going to go the other way, and there's nothing to really scout here, so he's going to get up this ramp straight away. If he can get these cannons, there's going to be no detection. He can just burrow micro to his heart's content, roaches in towards the natural as well, and there's the burrow on the third base, and he's winning this fight over the natural, and Curious just going to pop up, get some pros, pop down again, an infestation pit finishing up for him back at home. And I mean, Coolty is just in trouble as roaches run in towards his main base. These roaches burrowing in this mineral line as well. And Vega Squadron might find themselves behind now for the first time in the series, because Coolty seems to be Coolty seems to be taking a lot of damage here from Curious. If I don't know, Charles going to get a couple of shots off on this Overlord. We still have roaches in this main base though, and there's still only just now a cannon being built, so it's going to be a little while before these roaches actually get cleaned up. And of course, even when that cannon's built, he just has to retreat over here, burrow again, and there's no detection. As again, at the third base, unburrows, burrows. Next time he unburrows, this Nexus is more or less going to die, as again, back at home, some roaches are going to clean up some cells, but most importantly, swarm hosts are on the way. Curious has found a very safe way to transition into these swarm hosts, and, I mean, he's going to have a pretty good amount of them before, I mean, when are we even going to see Colossi on this map? We do actually see here then the roaches getting cleaned up. Robo facility starts now. It's going to be so long again before we see Colossi come out, and Colossi, what he's going to need, or maybe Templar with Storm or something, he needs some kind of splash damage. Fact of the matter is, it's just not going to be here in time, and Curious moving across the map with a few more roaches. He's just going to say, well, you know, the pressure's been going okay so far, just going to make sure to keep it up. We'll stop at the watchtower, and I guess a smart idea, really. I mean, he can't really do too much with that number of with this number of units here and this number of roaches. Now with some swarm hosts though, it's a very different story. He just has to be careful not to overcommit. The last thing he wants to do right now is to kind of throw away an advantage by throwing away all of his units. But with the creep spread so far forward, he can get into a fairly aggressive position with this already, and he's just going to keep on pushing this creep forward as well. I mean, the closer this creep gets to the Protosters base, the more troublesome it's going to be for Coolty to deal with. He's starting his gas is on the third base right now, which he was able to defend, so I mean, that's something for him here. I mean, he's on 63 workers. He's not like he's in, you know, terrible shape in terms of economy. The problem is he just doesn't really have any tech, and I mean, he's using his rover facility to build a observer right now. I mean, that's the last thing he needs. Yeah, vision's nice. Okay, a warp prism's kind of cool because that might buy him some time. But again, is it enough here? That's the real question. Twilight Council's actually just going to get targeted down. These roaches don't care. They can just come up towards this ramp, and well, there's an observer right now. And ooh, nice force field there. But the observer is here, and Curious should realize this. Pops up, and he'll get some more damage done in this main base. While at the same time, we still have Locust moving towards this third base. And just continuing to look to do some damage. Some gateways just starting to be built. Roach is still going a little bit wild in the main base. Locust kill off a couple of buildings here, and they'll do a little bit of damage to the army. Sees the War Prism as well, which is very important. That War Prism actually being used to save a Stalker right now, as Azar's being warped in and helping to deal with these roaches in the main. But they're still alive here as the swarm hosts advance forward. So Curious starting to feel a little bit more confident now. Zergling's to back this up. He's going to get ready to go. I mean, there's not really even a complete wall off here. Coolty is literally hanging on to whatever he can find. And these locusts coming up the ramp here, picking off, I think that might have been a cannon build, and not really that important what it was. The point is he's doing damage, and you know, it's not costing him anything to do this damage. Gateway will fall as well. And at the same time, we've got Lingus just positioned here, ready to make this attack work out. And Roach is still in the main base. Mothership Core's busy dealing with these. And, I mean, this next wave of Locusts, what's he going to do about it? These Locusts are breaking through. The walls has been tried to be reconstructed once again. Now there's Zerglings in towards the main base, and a lot of them at that. The cannon's going to go down. So Burrow Micro, again, a possibility. And Coolty going to realize, hey, there's just no way I can win this anymore. GG. And StarTale and take the lead then for the first time in this best of 7 all-kill series. Curious getting the work done and putting his team 2-1 up in this series. So, can he keep this going? What are Vega Squadron going to do next? Who is their next player going to be? Because this is where it gets kind of scary, because you know, you lose one more map and you're on match point. You've only got one player left to take out multiple players from StarTale. Whereas if you tie things up, at least then it's kind of a level, you know, it's an even footing. StarTale have a slight advantage because they pick the map and player to then go into the lead again, potentially. But it's fairly even in general, so 2-1 right now for StarTale, guys. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that follow button. See when we go live again with all of the SC2 Improved Team League matches, as well as our other SC2 Improved content. We're going to be streaming pretty much every day for the next week or so. And also make sure to check out our website, sc2improved.net, and our Twitter, at sc2_improved. Thank you very much to Salgio, who's hit that follow button on the Twitch channel just in the last few minutes. So thank you very much for your support. He has a nice little profile picture of a rubber duck on his Twitch. So thank you very much for the support, guys. We'll be back in a few moments, and yeah, we'll be back. Thank you, Sir Cheddar, as well in the chat, saying he loves the casting. Thank you for tuning in and spending your evening with us here on the SC2 Improved stream. Guys, BRB, game. Welcome back here, guys, to the SC2 Improved Team League quarter-final match between StarTale and Vega Squadron. Currently 2-1 in favour of StarTale. Getting ready to go into our next game. Just waiting for DMC to ready up. And we should be all good to go into this fourth game now, as Curious has the opportunity to take StarTale onto match point. You know, Curious playing pretty good. He's taken down Freya in a, you know, he held off the cannon rusher. It was fairly convincing from there. Took down Coolty, where he basically said, right, I'm just going to defend your attack, and once I defend your attack, you know, he just had more than enough to keep on going. So 2 games he's basically defended some time of kind of very aggressive play towards him, and then he's just won with the kind of follow-up. So what is DMC going to do? Last time I saw DMC playing, he liked mixing a lot of aggressive options alongside taking fast third bases. And again, it's going to be so important now for him to really kind of see what, you know, to really kind of win. Because, again, 2-2 and 3-1, the difference between them 2 scores is absolutely huge. One of them has you having to have one player beat 3 StarTale players, or 2 more StarTale players, or 3 StarTale players in a row, yeah, to win. The other has, well, you know, you got 2 chances. You got 2 players against 2 players. So yeah. So let's introduce these guys and get on into this. So currently 2-1 in favour of StarTale as we jump on into the game. We're actually going to be starting in the lower left-hand corner, the blue Protoss player from Vega Squadron, ladies and gentlemen. It's DMC. Third Protoss player in a row here from Vega. And we'll see how they are going to be able to do. In the upper right-hand corner, red Zerg player from StarTale is going to be Curious. So, again, both these teams had pretty similar performances in the group stage in terms of statistics, but again, when you look at the finer details, StarTale didn't really lose a match where they didn't end up forfeiting. So, so yeah, it's kind of scary to think about, right? Sort of undefeated in a way, but not quite. So, so yeah. Hey Bazooka, how's it going? Hey AC. Hope it's going well. Bit of discussion about the whole base shared TV drama. I mean, I guess not too much happening at the start of this, so I mean, really, it was just kind of, I mean, not letting the guy replay his matches is kind of fair enough, because the next season the tournament had already been played. It was a bit slow to be picked up that the guy was a hacker. You know, there was mistakes, but you know, all you had to say was like, sorry, it sucks, but it happened. But the way Rifkin responded was a little bit dreadful, to put it lightly. So, anyways, we've got a probe coming across the map here for DMC. He's going to be getting some information on early in this game. He is opening up with a Nexus first into a gateway once again here. So second time in a row, Vega player is going to go for this kind of build. A much different map here from Deadwing. Oak Grove is, of course, one of the more standard maps in the map pool, but it's a lot smaller than Deadwing. And again, I mean, it's great for taking a third base on, 4 bases. Split map can be very, very... well, split map can definitely happen. And I really like split map as a Zerg player in this scenario, because you know, there's only so many bases on the map. It's not a huge map, so if you end up mining out, as long as you can trade fairly efficiently for long enough, as the Zerg player, you should be kind of okay. So, you know, we'll see what happens here. As we have 6 Zergons coming across the map and 4 more being made still. Gas just finishing up here. So we're actually going to see a lot of aggression coming out very quickly from our Zerg player. Curious really going to commit to this. Now, I don't really think this was an early pool or so. I think it was only a 14 pool. I don't think it was that early at all by any stretch of the imagination. So, obviously it's not a 10 pool or anything, but I don't think it was like even a 13 pool. I'm just thinking it was a 14 pool, and these first 3 Zerglings are going to start doing some damage here. This Zeld a little bit unsure about when he actually wants to commit to this fight, and now a couple more Zerglings here as well, as these Zerglings are going to chase and try and grab a probe as well, and that's now the second probe killed here by these units. As the shield's now gone in this Nexus. He might lose this Nexus, especially if he's going to lose a Zealot like this. This is not a good start. Mothership Core comes out. Is he going to be able to do enough in time? I mean, there's a Stalker on the way, a couple more Lings on the way in as well. More Lings just being made, and he's just going to come in here. He's going to try and just trade against the probes. He really thinks he can really do some damage, and there's another probe dead. He's going to pick up another one on this gas, at least maybe. He's actually going to try and maybe go for that Stalker, as a couple of Zerglings are running around, a couple of them on that Nexus as well. And a lot of lost mining time right now for DMC as Lings continue to pour forward here. This Nexus is under fire. Curious, he's very far down on workers, so he has to get something done with this. But right now, things are looking promising. But a second Stalker on the way. These Zerglings, where they're going to go up into the main base again here. So Curious is going to keep these probes running around. Not really much mining at all going on for DMC. And he's going to get these Zerglings kind of cornered. I think he might. He's actually just going to take the fight then. These Zerglings have speed on the way as well, as some more Zerglings going to come up to the main base and help out. Oh, okay, they're going to go into the Nexus again. As these Zerglings from the main are going to come back down to the low ground. Speed on the way, and the most problematic thing about this is there's no wall off. So once speed does happen, once speed does finish, we're going to get into a scenario where these Zerglings are going to kind of be uncontested. Right now they are being traded, they're all just trading away with probes and stuff. 12 workers killed, almost evening up the supply, the worker count, but not quite. 13 drones to 15 probes. What's still over here? Another Zergling also getting picked off. Nexus picks up 4 kills there. Mothership Core with 8. And this Stalker with 4 kills too. There's these Zerglings again, more of them coming across the map. And Curious is getting ready for round 2. And again, it's the lack of a wall off here, which is really going to hurt DMC. All that mining time lost has meant he hasn't had the money to really do this. So, let's see what's happening as Curious continues to mass up these Zerglings. He's going to come forward with these, and, well, let's see what happens. The speed kicks in, and this Stalker's going to get caught immediately. The sentry's on the way, but it's not in time to save the Stalker, and I don't think even the Photon Overcharge and Mothership Core together is going to be able to save this Nexus. And the Natural's going to go down, and guys, Vega Squadron are in trouble. GG comes out from DMC. He's not going to be able to hold on, and Curious... oh, he is making things happen right now for StarTale. He is 1 map away from an all-kill. The guy who's, when he's come out in the past in the SC2ITL, hasn't looked brilliant. You know, he's looked good. He's looked alright, but not brilliant. You know, he's done good, but he's not always, you know, killed everyone. He's always been the guy who's actually lost maps for StarTale. Yet here he is now, on the verge of all-killing in perhaps the most important match of the season here, in the quarterfinals of the in the quarterfinals of the playoffs. I say the most important match of the season. I mean, of course, there's more important ones to come if he makes it, if they make it through this round. I mean, things are looking darn good for them right now. 3-1 in favour of StarTale, guys. Game number 5 will be coming up in a few moments. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. After this, we will be casting the SC2 Improve weekly, so make sure you come along and, you know, you can even play with that as well. Again, if you head on over to excello.net, go sign up. It'll be starting in about 45 minutes. So go get yourself signed up and come along and play with us. And we'll be casting that on the stream here as well. Shout out to Dracorb and Super Burger, who have hit that follow button in the last 10-15 minutes. Thank you very much for your support. Again, another shout out from the earlier donation from Barmy. And guys, we'll be back in a few moments' time with Game 5 of this best of 7 all-kill. It's match point for StarTale. And it all comes down to this for Vega Squadron. Who will be their final player? Who's going to be sent out to be their saviour here? I don't know who it will be. I don't actually know who else is to play. They've got a couple of guys in the chat, so we'll see who they pick, guys, a few moments. Welcome back, guys, to SC2 Improved Team League. StarTale versus Vega Squadron, as Vega Squadron are about to be knocked out if King Cobra cannot pull this back. The 4th Protoss player in the row, because when the first 3 Protoss players don't work, why not the 4th, just to try it out. Curious showing us a range of builds, though, and you know, showing us some good defenses, and then showing us he can be aggressive as well. So far, so Curious giving us some good games. How's everyone in the chat doing? Hey Asta, Yo AC, Sup Pascalip still here as well, and Bazooka, and Azili's popping in as well. Again, guys, hope you're all doing well as we're about to get into game number 5. Just setting up our scoreboard. It's match point for StarTale. Vega Squadron, Season 2 runners-up. It's a shame they had to hit StarTale so early in the playoffs, right? It's just one of them things, you know, you can't change who you meet. You can't predict, you know, where people are going to end up and who you're going to get seeded against. And so unfortunately they have to meet StarTale so early on. Again, they were runners-up last season, Vega Squadron. And the only disappointment they really had last season at all was the finals. And yeah, it's been a good season for them, but right now they are in some major trouble, and it all comes down to this guy in the southeast position of Catalina from Vega Squadron, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Blue Protoss player, it's King Cobra. Some nice Protossy sounds to get us going in this game. In the upper left from Steam StarTale, it's going to be our Teal Zerg player. It's Curious. Alright guys, so again, we have something a little bit interesting coming in. Very quick gas for Curious. Now, this probe comes in and he's going to be able to move around. And Curious actually just going to cancel his gas because it's been scouted so early on. Says, hey, if you're going to scout me this early, no need to do anything like that. And King Cobra puts down a forge here, whether he wants to... he sends out another probe, so might still actually try to cannon rush here. Wow, he really might. With 2 probes on the map, cannon rush is definitely a possibility, but again, this is a very early pool. Oh, he's going to hide it, but he gets spotted straight away, and I don't know if this is really going to work here. And I mean, already one drone just over here, and he's going to look down to the low ground to try and stop another probe from doing anything. Okay, he's actually going to put the hatchery down. I mean, the Queen and Zerglings are going to be on the way so shortly. It's going to be very difficult to try and get anything down, and I don't even think the probe's going to find a chance to make a cannon. Okay, well, he gets a couple more pylons. He actually gets a cannon in there as well. Okay, so he gets a cannon up, but it's actually got holes in towards it, so he's going to be able to get through to this. A probe trying to put a cannon on the low ground as well. Some drones going to go onto this immediately as well. As this probe's actually going to go down if he's not careful. Okay, he just gets away with that probe. As this cannon's still taking a lot of damage. 6 Zerglings on the way, and I would imagine 6 Zerglings are going to be enough to shut this down. I mean, only 2 Zerglings can fight at a time, but again, so much damage already done to this cannon. And here are the Zerglings as well coming in now to just help out. And these Zerglings should be enough to just take down this first cannon, then move down to the low ground and get rid of the rest of it. Vega Squadron, things are not looking bright for them right now. This cannon rush has not been successful, and everything on the low ground is going to go down as well here in the next few moments. And GG is called very quickly here, very swiftly indeed, as Curious is going to finish it off, and he takes his all kill, his first all kill in the SC2 Improved Team League, and in the quarterfinals nonetheless. Vega, they did take 1 map off of StarTale alive, falling earlier today to Freya in our first match, and Curious though, just too good. GG's well played. StarTale win 4-1, and Vega Squadron and Leifert do fall down here, and they fall out of the SC2ITL Season 3. But we'll be very happy to see them back in Season 4, already automatically qualified for our First Division. And again, more news on the SC2ITL Season 4 coming in the next couple of weeks, if even then. I think in about 10 days or so, we're going to have our news. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that, because it's going to be pretty good, if I do say so myself. So we're not done here casting tonight, guys. We have got more content on the way for you. But if you're going to leave us, I will thank you all for tuning in. Shout out to Marcel2014, who has hit that follow button. And yeah, thank you all for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Again, we're going to stay live here in about half an hour. We're going to have the SC2 Improved Weekly number 67 on the way. That's something you guys can all take part in. If you want to try out your luck, try out your skills, try out your game, do come sign up. All you have to do is head over to excello.net, type it in for you there, click SC2 Improved Weekly number 67, and you can sign up from here. Make sure you join the chat channel in-game SC2I Weekly, and come join this cool list of players who are all set and ready to go into the 67th-ish version of the SC2 Improved Weekly. And yeah, come win some money, come win qualification into our monthly finals. It's all going to be fun. That's going to be starting up in about 35 minutes then, so make sure you guys come and join us for that. I'm going to leave the stream live, and what can we do? I'll just put some music on it, and I'll just put up that we're back in half an hour with the SC2 Improve Weekly. So guys, thanks for tuning in. If you're leaving us, again, stay tuned if you want to see some more SC2 Improve action with the SC2I Weekly. And congratulations again to StarTale, advancing now to the semi-finals, where they will play against Con G Sports in the next few days. So guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back in about half an hour for the SC2I Weekly. I'll put that up on the screen so you guys know what's up. We'll run a couple of ads during the ad break as well, so you know, if you feel like supporting the channel and you don't want to subscribe or donate, which you can do as well to get replay packs, etc., and to get in on giveaways and stuff like that, then you can just follow the channel. Was that what I was saying? you can just follow the channel and see when we go live again. But most importantly, you can just sit through the ads because it does help us out. So guys, we'll be back in about half an hour with more SC2 Improve action. For now, thank you for tuning in.